Now, my hair is very curly. I actually did it this morning because I don't have classes. We're officially on break now, but we not gonna look at the back of my head. Hello everyone, this is Denny, and today we're gonna talk about going to the doctor and the dentist in China. Alright, so with doctors and all, there's about 4 different categories or topics I'm going to cover. First one is the dentist, because that is the one I went to the most recent. I might start looking down every now and then, but that's because my notes are here. If I don't write notes, then these videos turn out absolutely terrible. So going to the dentist, I did not get your traditional cleaning, whitening, or anything like that done. It was not a checkup, okay? So what I went to the dentist for was my top wisdom teeth are starting to grow in, and I had a tooth pulled a few years ago, and there was an empty spot there. This whole process ended up taking a very, very long time for multiple reasons. First one, translation errors, and when I got paid is the second one. Third one is also, there was a hiccup within the system. But got this pulled, he was like, 2 weeks later, come back and we'll do this. And I was like, I don't get paid in 2 weeks. Like, we gotta push this off some. So he had to shave down the teeth beside the hole on this side. He put a temporary cap on it. And then asked another company to make the fake tooth set that would go on. That set ended up being too short. My teeth are too tall for that. So he ended up having to make a custom one, and I only ended up paying for one of these. He did not make me pay for both because the first one was a failure. You don't pay for the failure, thankfully, thank God. So the second one, he had to make a custom one. He got molds of the right and left side and essentially kind of like copied it over. And then the last time I saw him was just putting the cap on. He told me the cap should last me many, many years with proper care. So great. It does pretty well. I feel like my chewing has balanced out, so I got what I wanted. So that's great. It ended up costing me, I want to say, around 4,000 for everything. 4,000 renminbi, not 4,000 American dollars. That's crazy ridiculous. So I get paid 7,000 a month, so 4,000 was a good chunk of it, but this will last me for years, so that's good. You get in, you get out, you get what you need to do. The only sad part is they automatically assume you don't need anesthesia. Like they put anesthesia in for the teeth pulling, but for the shaving down of my teeth, no. It was not automatic anesthesia. He was like, just bear through it, and I was like, no, it's not happening. So yeah, he had to give me like anesthesia. Yeah, so just be warned. People here tolerate a lot more pain. They're expected to. The second thing I want to talk about is going to the hospital. The hospitals are usually called People's Hospital. They're the public ones. The government pays for part of the procedure, and then you have to pay the rest. Insurance does not automatically cover things. Insurance is a reimbursement type situation here in China, and some of the things I've done, they're either too cheap, so they're not like worth even turning into the insurance company, or they're not covered. Dentist is not covered underneath my insurance, so I'm not going to get that covered. But oh well. So for the doctor, if you know me, you know I get a sinus infection essentially every year. The first time I went to the hospital, they had to do like the whole routine check of like getting like all like your measurement stuff done, like your blood pressure, they had to draw blood, your weight and all that. And that one cost more money. But the second time I went, which was this year, since I don't even know why I went through the whole process. This year, I didn't even use the same card I had from last year, because you have like a card that the doctor like scans and puts how much like you have to pay at the end. Like that's how it works here. Didn't even use the same card. Didn't even have my correct name on the card, so like I couldn't even turn that into the insurance. I would have to get that information changed first. But we ended up going through the process. The second time, it took maybe an hour. I was at the hospital maybe an hour. That's even way too long. But yeah, so I went straight to the doctor's office, checked me out. They asked like what color my mucus was, how does it feel? They pressed my face and asked, does this hurt? my coordinator was there. She had to translate all this stuff for me, obviously. But yeah, it was in and out. I think the second time I went, it was like 130 RMB, which is like $15, $20. But like, that's super cheap. And like, the medication is only for like 4 days. Like, you take medication 3 times a day. You take it, like, you're done in 4 days. Like, they don't do this 7-day crap or 10-day crap we do in America. In and out, but they also normally do TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. And that can go either way. I know TCM is either, it works wonders on people or like does nothing. I really haven't seen someone in between here, but TCM works for me. I don't mean the acupuncture stuff. I mean like the little medicine stuff and the teas and stuff like that for like upset stomach. Those help me, but I had a friend who had a chest cold, did not help her. She needed Western medicine. So be warned, TCM might work on you, it might not. It's up in the air. Third thing, school doctors. Since I work at a high school, and I think middle schools have them as well. I'm not sure about elementary schools, but I do know that high schools and boarding middle schools have a doctor on campus. Now, these aren't school nurses. I accidentally said that, and I was very wrong. These are like actual doctors at school. So essentially, since the kids live here, there needs to be a doctor here. And they do rotations. There's like 3 or 4. But they are awesome. I love them. I've met them multiple times. But sometimes I get a sore throat or a runny nose, and I can go to the nurse and tell them what's up. They'll like ask a few words, a few sentences to me. I used to need a translator, like another colleague, but now I kind of know the questions they're gonna ask me, and I've learned to translate better on my own. So I've gone to the doctor by myself and just been like, tongue, like it hurts, is the word I'm saying, hurt. So they just like give me like medicine, and you're supposed to pay for it inside the office. I didn't know that the first time, so other people had been paying for me, but I carry around my school card now. So yeah, the school doctors are pretty quick, they're really nice, and usually the medicine's pretty cheap. I don't think I've paid over 30 kwai. Yeah, I don't think I've paid over like 30 kwai for any of my medicine at the doctors. Fourth thing I want to talk about is pharmacies. Now, there are pharmacies around the cities and the villages. They have a plus sign. Now, I've never actually bought something from the pharmacy, but I know other people who have. And essentially, you go into the pharmacy, you tell them, either you can tell them the exact thing you want, or you can tell them what's wrong and they will recommend you something. These pharmacies are typically TCM. TCM is very big here in China. Obviously, it's part of their culture, essentially. The most common thing you'll be told is drink more hot water. That's like the cure to almost everything. But yeah, you can go in there, you can tell them what you need, what's wrong with you, and they can recommend you something. So essentially, if you're sick, your first bet is TCM here in China. But just know your doctors, your pharmacies, your medicines are going to be super cheap. But if you do end up getting something like more expensive, like a surgery, just know your insurance company will take forever and a day to reimburse you. It's not a quick process here. So if it's going to put you in the dumps, like you're going to be broke, I would ask your school if they would be willing to help pay for it or something like that, although usually that would take forever as well. But big tip, just try and not get too hurt. But just know if you have a cold or the flu, you can go to the doctor pretty cheap and quickly, and you will be healed. So yeah, that was doctors, pharmacies, and all that in China. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have anything other to add or another story, please leave it down below, and I will see you later. Bye-bye!